What's going on? What's going on?
Feedback, lots of feedback.
There's a
You
ton
got
of feedback. I'm sorry, one sec.
oh, you're
You good?
this bad.
Everything good?
Everything's good on my end. Still lots of feedback. I'm like hard to hear.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it just sounds fuzzy, like windy.
One sec. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do, you guys, we apologize. We were having technical difficulties trying to log on ourselves as far as with the volume and the sound. So Trent's going to try to work. I was able to work my issues out, thankfully. So Trent's going to go out for a little bit, come back in, and as he tries to work those things out, I'll just go ahead with our housekeeping things. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon for another great topic. I'm thankful that Trent is joining me again this evening to help me through this process on Tuesday night. So, welcome, 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 everyone. You're listening to, or by way of Better Together TV, B2G Unity TV. Trent, say something so I can. No, I can't hear you now. Everything's gone. I guess we'll have to put up with the wind sound if because I could hear you before, but it just sounded like wind was blowing. So I'll continue to give you a minute to work that out. But I just, again, you guys, we'll get through the housekeeping things. And then once he's in, we'll get going with the show. Um,
Okay.
we hear you. You know how that, you maybe it's your fan. I see your fan's going. You think that's what it is?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I guess maybe I see we have some people already listening. So if you guys can hear that feedback, I can hear myself. Yeah, your sound is
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go through. We'll do our thing. I can even hear
Cool.
me myself twice
Try,
through.
try, try adjusting your volume.
Okay, let's do that. I haven't did anything different with. All right, I still hear it. So don't worry about it.
Hold on a second.
It's
We'll take care of it in a second.
now whatever you did, the wind sound went away, or the
Yeah, actually, the echo feature on it was turned off.
okay,
So
okay.
you have to have. There's a must that everybody that comes to like guests or myself, we got to make sure that the echo feed is off. It's actually
Yeah, mine.
enabled.
Yeah, I checked mine on this end and it was off because I haven't changed anything.
Yeah, I have to
But
check
whatever
it.
you
So
just pressed, you're
yes,
you're good. You're good.
gotcha. Good
Okay.
stuff.
Super, 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 super.
Live TV, folks. Live TV. Let's
I'm
go.
telling you, it
Yeah.
happens. It happens there. So every now and then would definitely happen here.
Oh,
So
good.
thank you guys again for joining us. I am going to get right into this thing. Again, B2G Unity TV. Check us out, b2gunitytv.com. We are on the Roku station, and hopefully soon we'll be coming to some other things as well. So giving you a variety of options to watch because as we mentioned, we're probably going to be shying away from Facebook altogether at some point.
Absolutely.
You'll have to catch us on the Roku station or the Amazon Fire and all that. But more about that to come. I just want to thank you and I want to ask you guys to move your trash can. We are always promoting change. Um, every topic we do, even with tonight's topic, really comes right back to you. So nothing that we talk about is about the other person because whatever you're going through, even as you go through it, you should be growing through it, learning more about yourself because the things that are happening around us is often happening within us. Especially when we're allowed those things. And there's a clear difference between allowing something that's growing to go through its challenges and its changes and the changes. But when you are consistently running up against the same people, putting up with the same shit, I gotta say it. Um, when those things are not what you know you want out of life or who you want out of life, but you still continue to attract those things and put up with them. It's about you, not about the other person. However, it is still okay to talk about what that person or people like this may be going through. And let me get this out. By no means are we saying women don't shy away from good men either. We just picked the
Hmm.
topic tonight, and that's what we want to talk about. I think it's great because so often we forget about. I believe there's a divine order. Let me just say it that way. I believe that there's a divine order that society has tricked us into believing that it's not, and that order is is out of order. And our men, I
Right.
believe that our men are being attacked from everywhere. I'm not saying that women aren't on a different level in a different way, but
Right.
if it's divine order and the top, the men are being attacked, not just from society, but women and their emotion, not women and their emotions, but women and the men and their emotions, the things that they go through. Um, I have a son. I have a black male son. I have one. And even as a mother, I hurt for him the things that he just has to deal with outside of just life, being a black man, and trying to measure up everywhere he goes, and still be the head of his household in an emotionally healthy way for his wife and kids. So, man, I just wanted to get that out because by no means this is something that is a negative thing. Um, so let's see it as a positive. Let's talk with each other, not about each other. Let's grow together, based on what we need and how we need it. So
Oh, let's not get it misconstrued. I'm here for the guys. So
I am too.
okay.
I am too. And I'm a woman and I'm here too.
All women.
But
All
you know how
I
see a
know. I know.
topic and they think, oh, well, women do it too. There's always a counter. And it doesn't need to be a counter because this is the topic that we've chosen and selected. So we want
Yeah,
to talk about the men tonight, in a very healthy, productive way because men hurt too. Men
absolutely.
hurt too. And I think society has taught men or teach them, or they have this distorted perception that um, they can't own their hurt. It doesn't quite
Right.
always feel like a man to say, "Hey, that hurt me. I hurt too," or "I have difficulty loving you because of this, that, and the other," and I feel like I don't do the measure up or whatever. Men need to have a safe place to be able to say that without feeling like they will be rejected or seen as less than a man. Maybe that's the
Exactly.
best word.
Shamed and all that stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So because for a long time there was a stigma, men don't cry. You know,
Crying
who's
is cleansing.
human doesn't cry? Like if you're who doesn't cry in your own way, whatever way that looks like. So I
Right.
just wanted to get that out there because rarely do I just target one gender in the title. So
Right.
I always just like to put that disclosure out there that we're about transformation, change, and growth, no matter
Absolutely.
gender. And so, in order to promote that and be about that, we got to talk about it all and everybody,
Absolutely.
all and everybody. So, all right. So, how are things going down there your way before we get started?
Everything's good. Got some good yoga in at the house. Tuesdays is my off day from the gym, so I still worked out. So I feel pretty good. I'm ready to dig into this topic.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So tonight's topic is, and I'm kind of rewording it here as I put it out there. Do men shy away from good women? Um, Yay, nay.
I'm gonna say like I like I said in the promo. Um, I'm gonna say it's two reasons why. It's probably a variety of reasons why, but there's
Wait,
two.
wait. Coming from a man's perspective, let's first define a good woman. Ooh,
Mm.
he got quiet.
You telling me to define a
Yeah,
good woman?
because we're
A good
saying
a good woman. A good
shy
woman.
away.
My
Yeah,
definition of a good woman. A good woman. My definition of a good woman, right? A good woman is someone who's done the work on herself, who's willing to continue to do the work, know that she isn't perfect. That's a good woman to me. A good woman who actually is nurturing, caring, and considerate. A good woman who's actually genuinely wants me. Not just want me for my money. A good woman that genuinely wants me. That's
You
the
made me
signs
think
of a
about
good
Dr.
woman.
Phil.
What'd you
You made
say?
me think about Dr. Phil and Robin.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll share
Exactly.
that story with you guys later.
Gotcha.
So I have a few things I want to throw out there because before we got started, I wanted to just kind of define a good woman, and I know it varies, it differs, but I found something on the site, and I wish I would have remembered to write the site down. I won't share all of them because of all of that, but a good woman moves past petty jealousies. Okay, so a good woman moves past petty jealousies. A good woman is intellectually challenging. A good woman puts in effort for you. I thought I had one more. A good
Mhm.
woman will make you want to be the best version of yourself without changing who you are.
That's the one. That's a lot. The last one, I'll actually agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
A good woman can't change a man. A man
Well,
has to
yeah, it
want
says
it.
without changing who you are. Like
But
a good woman will make you want to be the best
I
version of
got you. I got you. Exactly. So you have
um
to. The man has to still do the work himself. So yeah, I
right,
get it. Yeah.
right. And it
Mhm.
also has a good woman works to improve herself. So
Boom.
it's not just
That's
about
that first. That's that personal chisel we're always talking about on the B2G Unity Network. The
um
personal chisel, doing the work yourself, on yourself.
right. She's
Right.
honest and genuine. She's
Yeah.
empathetic, ambitious, consistent. I loved that word because consistency
Exactly.
is for me. Consistency is really big for me because the consistency, I think, if you can be consistent, that means you are steady in who you are. You
Right.
stand
Right.
steadfast to yourself. So I just wanted to, without going into much of those things or going into depth about each one of those, I
Right.
just wanted to put those out there because I feel like every man should have a definition or something in his heart about what
Right.
the woman for him looks like, the character of that woman. So for men listening, have that list, and
Exactly.
perhaps if you have that list, you won't run. Because sometimes when you think you're getting what you want, it is easy to try to
Exactly.
run because you don't want to be hurt again. So okay, I
Exactly.
interrupted. You were going to give two things.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. A good woman is not about the face is pretty, the ass is round, but what's between your shoulders? Face is beautiful, ass is
Okay,
round. What's between those shoulders?
okay. So
What's up here?
when a man runs into the woman that's, and let's just say for the sake of the show, all of that plus has it in between the shoulders. Is it easy? What kind of man would run from that kind of woman, in your opinion? What kind of man would run from, not a perfect woman, but if he had that list in his mind, what
Mhm.
would make him run? He was attracted to her. She was it. What kind of man would run and why, in your opinion?
A man who hasn't done the work on himself. I could actually relate to that man because I used to be that man. I had the perfect woman for me. I pretty much pushed her completely out of my life by the stuff that I caused and destroyed it because I knew I didn't deserve her because I wasn't right myself. I was still running around the country and still putting on three faces, not two faces, three faces.
So you didn't deserve her because you weren't right for yourself, or you didn't deserve her because you didn't believe you were.
I wasn't right for myself or her. Period. To
Okay.
be honest with you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Even though I played the part,
So
I looked the part. I mean, I cleaned up well, but I wasn't there
satisfying for
mentally,
you? Like,
emotionally.
what
Go
was the
ahead.
feel of that? what was the feel when I say the feel of that? Because in reading up and studying a little bit about this, um,
Mm.
it's kind of, from what I read, it becomes like it's a two-faced coin, meaning like you kind of get some pleasure from sabotaging the relationship.
I didn't
This
get any pleasure from it. I wasn't ready for it at all. There was no pleasure in it. And it definitely was no pleasure once we decided to go our separate ways. There was
not
no
in
pleasure,
that
no
part,
pleasure.
in the playing of it, meaning
I
um
didn't get any pleasure out of that. I was actually that was just embedded in me.
so you
And
didn't get pleasure out of the other women? You didn't get pleasure as you were dipping and dabbing?
I did it because I knew I could
It
do it.
wasn't a thrill, a high? It didn't give you this kind of high, or I'm the
For
shit?
me, yeah, for me personally, I did that because I knew I could do it. So by the time she came along, I knew she was for me. I knew she was the one for me. She was good for my soul, but I wasn't ready for that. Even if my career was hitting on all cylinders, it was good, but I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for that type of woman. Godly woman, had her shit together. She didn't want my money, didn't want nothing from me but me. That's all she wanted.
Hmm.
I wasn't ready for that.
How does a man get ready?
You have to go through it. You have to use your personal chisel. You have to continuously work on yourself. I had to continuously work on myself to get to this point. To get to the highest level of yourself, you have to continuously work on yourself.
Okay.
Take
So,
personal responsibility for the toxic you bring to your own party. Period.
do you feel that men are, well, I say men and women for the sake of the show, because I think this would could be a twofold question for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think all of us, men and women, are hardwired for um,
Pain.
no, a healthy, connected relationship?
When you say hardwired,
Think
give me a
that,
definition. Your hardwired. Hardwired. What do you
think
mean?
that like we desire it, we like you desire it, you long for it, you want it. Like even if you don't
Everybody.
identify with it, there's a
Here's the
longing
thing.
for something.
Exactly. Everyone's hardwired for that. Yes. I
Okay,
love that word, hardwired.
okay.
Everyone's hardwired for it, but we don't have the tools or know the tools or to know how to get to the tools to actually get to that point to where we harness that.
Check it out. Check it out on the board.
What you got? You know I
The
can't see
average
that
person does not know how to be in a relationship or work towards a healthy lifestyle,
at
let
all.
alone a
And that
relationship.
was going back to 2013, 14. Man, that woman was everything. Everything. But I acquired the tools to show other people how to get to the next step in life, the next step in life, the next phase in life. I couldn't fix my own shit because I wasn't ready for it. I
Mm.
wasn't ready for her.
I think we don't fix our own shit, both men and women, a lot of times because we're in denial. Like we've gone through, there's so much about us that comes from our childhood,
Exactly.
those wounds that we never really get to talk about with our parents. And again,
Absolutely.
not beating up parents, just even outside of parents, just life itself, because
Sometimes you got to
life
put the
teaches
boxing
you.
glove on the parents too now.
Right. That's
Yeah, put the
true. But
boxing
there's
gloves
so
on.
many, even down to your attachment style. There's so many things that we need to the study of self. Like what is your conflict resolution style? What is your attachment style? Like how do you attach to people? There is such a way. There's such a thing about that. Do you have? There's this thing we're gonna have to do a show on mother hunger, and that's from both ends, mother hunger, and then there's a longing for wounded fathers, coming from wounded fathers. And so
Right.
there's so much that we have planted in us that we've suppressed, and we keep covering it up with that dirt, and everything needs to crack open, everything needs to peep out of the dirt and be dealt with.
I agree. We got a couple of comments
Let's
here
get
today.
some comments. Right. So Slash says, "Good evening, my B2G fam. Greetings, Miss Tam and Mr. Epic. Good
What
evening,
up? What up?
as always. Thank you for joining us.
What
Looking
up,
forward to
Slash?
hearing what you have to say tonight." We have Tania. Men cheat with other women. Okay.
I totally agree.
I think so. So Tania, and see, they shy away from good women because they are used to bottom women who
Nah,
entertain
that's a.
them.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree with that one. What's how do you pronounce the name? Tamia.
Tania.
Yeah, I'll respectfully disagree with the latter part of that. I don't deal with bottom women at all.
Well, see, what I think she's saying. Okay, let me read in. They shy away from good women because they're used to bottom women who entertain them. So there are some good women who. Okay, let me go back. I
Let's get
get
the
what, and
let's get
I
the
agree. I
let's get the
agree.
definition of bottom woman when she said bottom woman.
Okay, Tania, what's a bottom woman? I mean, I think the yeah, I'm gonna let Tania say. Tania, give us your definition because I don't want to play with that one.
I
Come
like
on.
that though, Tania.
Okay.
What she say?
So so a good woman who's done the work, who has that chisel every day, y'all, because I can't say this enough just because I'm here. It does not mean that I don't have to pull myself up and
Exactly.
out most
Well,
days. But but
hold on.
now this is what's not going to happen because I did the work. I ain't finna
Exactly.
be that bottom woman who's going to entertain your foolishness. I can love you, your dirty draws, but I'm at in this stage in my
Mm.
life. I'm not going to entertain your foolishness. We're either on the same page in the same book or something. We in the same book,
If
and
I
we
had a
come
choir
across
button on this
different
mixing
things.
board, if I had a choir
But
button on this mixing board,
so
go ahead.
So wait a minute. Let me make sure I want to. Tania, am I saying your name right? So I want to say it right. Okay. She says women who don't require much. Oh, she said it so tactfully because I'm so glad I asked you to say it because I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not actually.
Come on.
Yeah, that type of woman I haven't. That's not my thing. That never came across my palate. Let's just say it like that. But for me, I was just
Her name is Tonya. How was it?
Tonya,
Tonya?
Tonya. That's pretty.
That is pretty.
That's
Tonya.
pretty. Good stuff.
That
Appreciate
is.
you tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. So I think she said that perfectly. Yes, Tonya. I like that name,
Good
the way
stuff.
it's pronounced and spelled. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And thank
Hold on a second, Tammy. For my demographics, Tonya, which area you calling from? Which area you tuning in from? Like which city or state?
Tonya may not want you to know all that now.
Hey, that's for business purposes.
Okay, Tonya. So if you want to let Mr. Epic know what state you're from, feel free to do so. Cordova. Oh, she's in my
Okay.
hood.
Tennessee. Okay, good stuff. Good
Yeah,
stuff. Good
yeah.
stuff.
So, I just now I really love the way she said it because she's in my neighborhood. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
um, I do agree, and again, I just think she said it so tactfully. Women who don't require much, and
She,
we are. Oh gosh, she makes me think about something. I've said this before, but remember me talking about the guy that I met years and years and years ago,
right.
and he came to me so disrespectfully, like just the way he came to me was just like, really, dude? And so he told me, he said, it's okay because what you won't do, 100 women will.
Wow.
And so I ended up bringing him back on the show. We ended up like being, talking
Right.
or whatever, on a friend level, because I really wanted to understand what would make him say something like that. And probably a lot of women who he probably could have gotten a lot of women to let him take them home and do what he said he wanted to do to me. But I'm like, what? Really? Who
Exactly.
does that? He said 100 women will do it.
To piggyback on
So
that
I
100
get, I
women
get.
thing, right? Let's piggyback on that 100 women thing and where the lines get crossed and the glasses get blurred when some women, I'm not going to say all, I'm going to say some women lose themselves to become his preference,
Explain.
meaning
Mm.
they'll dummy themselves down because they're really attracted to him.
Hmm.
They will dummy themselves down because they're attracted to him. So they can't push past the feeling of wanting him like that. This is
Okay.
where all logic goes out of the door.
Now, I do believe that men, I say women, have gotten to a point, like Tanya says, they don't require much, and there is a very feminine way to require something, if that makes sense. Like you don't have to be over the top. You can just be in your lane and in your zone and know what you want and know what you don't want, and then don't put up with that. But I have a question for you guys. Um how much of this, especially with our men, comes from the human desire to avoid any more pain in their life?
For me, or my second wife, once I was hurt, I was scarred for a minute. I avoided going into relationships because of the pain. But once I acquired the tools to get past all that hurt, I was able to move forward in life and be open and receptive to accepting a good woman into my life. But the pain stopped me from going forward in a relationship.
Did the pain stop you um, from thinking that there was a good woman out there that would not repeat the actions? Did the pain stop
Yeah,
you from
see,
believing in relationships or love?
right, yeah, for me, that my issue wasn't confusing women with Morgan. Never. I didn't confuse women with Morgan. Oh, she's just like Morgan. Nah, I didn't do that. I just didn't want to deal with the rigmarole, going through the rigmarole of getting hurt again. I wasn't looking at them like, oh, she's. I was never, I was never the type to compare a woman to my past. That was just me avoiding,
Well,
just
not
staying
really
out of the way.
comparing. So, but your second marriage hurt you, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
got
so,
okay. So
yeah.
did it how can I say this? Did it make you think that relationships are BS?
Nah, that wasn't my mindset. It was,
No.
it was, it was that
So you
people
stopped
really.
believing in love.
I stopped believing in love because people pretend.
Okay. So I think why am I having to pull this out of you?
What you say?
Why am I having to pull this out of you? Because you're contradicting yourself now.
What you mean?
You said that you stopped believing in love because what? That was the
I said,
question.
was that was your question?
Well, that I was asking you that question earlier, but you said no. I didn't take that on with me and other women. But
No, I didn't. I didn't. But what I'm saying, for me, I was reluctant to going into anything else because of my light on for, hey, man, I don't even know what you're about. I wanted to get to know you first. I wanted to take a little more time and see what's up with you.
do you subconsciously maybe more men than we think, and that they think because of this macho, they're supposed to be very hardwired, and do they subconsciously get caught up in like women ain't shit, they play these games, da 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 da,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be got again, blah 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 blah, because
it
they say
depends
it's
on.
different when a man has been hurt, when a good man who has put the work in and doing their best in a great way, that they say that if you hurt a man, they can't take it could stop a good
It
man.
depends. It depends on the individual. Like for me, I closed myself off for a number of years. I just stopped messing with them. Period. I didn't even play with them anymore at that point. I was just like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. So I didn't even play with them. I'm gonna take a break. But there were times when it came close, and I would have to catch myself like, I'm not too far removed from the guy I used to be. So I just gave you a pass. But yeah, it depends on the individual.
And so I have Tanya, before I want to put your comment about your friend girl out, but I want
I
to do
think
that with
Slash had
her
a comment as
permission.
well.
Right. I'm asking her, I want permission to do that before I put
Gotcha.
that one out.
Oh,
Um,
so you know this girl?
I don't. Not that I know of. But I just don't want to. That one's
Oh, you
okay.
want to
I just want,
publicly put her comment on it?
yeah, yeah, out
Okay,
on the screen.
I
Before
get
I
it.
do that, I just want your okay.
Okay.
So let me put this one out and let me go back to what Slash put on there. Men are not detail oriented when it comes to cheating. Now, I certainly agree with that. And I got to throw this in because I know maybe not all women, but women can cheat. And when you guys find out, we can say, no, I'm not cheating, because by the time you find out, it's already over. Like
So
we're
it's
so,
oh yeah,
yeah. And so I think men know that. And men also know that if a woman cheats, it's not just a hit and run. Most times it's you're emotionally connected to that person most
exactly.
times. So that's why another reason, or we are better cheaters. Yes, we are. Yes, we are better cheaters. So, and that sounds so ugly, but we are.
Yeah, but I would say it depends on the individual. Again, it depends on the individual, and it depends on if your man is in tune and he's a dog in tune, he gonna know you're doing something. He gonna know. He gonna know what's up. But most of the times, what and that's just human nature. If you know your said partner is cheating, you're not gonna approach them for several months, several weeks, because you're afraid of rejection. Let's
Right.
keep it a buck. So I'm not gonna
Right.
say nothing because I really want this relationship. I don't care if she's with 10 niggas. I really want this relationship. He's not gonna say a word to you. He won't. He's just gonna allow you to hang yourself. But that he has to be an in tune man to do that.
Okay. So, I will put that comment out in just a second. I have, she says, please, yes. So Slash says, so would God blessing a man with a good woman at the wrong time? We're all flawed humans. We all go through trial, tribulation, stress, and trauma, and not all of us are scared of our childhoods. So I agree. And we even when we get into a relationship, at some point, sometimes I think it's natural to feel like, oh, I got the wrong man or I got the wrong woman.
Right.
I'm not saying that, because yes, the wrong woman can be the greatest blessing a man has if he stops and says, okay, I have a
Absolutely.
good woman here. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to be all caught up in my past, my feelings, or my any of that. It's time for me to walk the straight line. And when you don't do that, speaking to the men now, when you don't do that, you could very well be responsible for breaking the heart of that woman again. And now that cycle of trust starts all over again.
Right.
So if we're going to bring God into it, Mark, I'm going to say this: love your wives. Christ loved the church. That's a lot of responsibility put on men. And
Yeah.
so if
One
he
time.
find he who finds what a wife
I can say
finds a
I can
what?
I can say so much about that particular
Well, I'm
Bible
just saying
verse.
because your boy put it out there. So
I can say so much about that particular Bible verse, but I'll refrain from commenting on that
you
Bible
can't.
verse.
There's probably so much more behind it for sure, as all Bible verses, but it comes to the point, for the sake of topic, do men run from, why, or do they? So let's answer the question. What percentage of men do you think would run from a good woman?
More than half.
More than half?
Yeah. Because a ton of
Slash, I
people,
would like to hear what you have to say. Antonia, what percentage, and I mean, just off the top of your head. So I've asked him to comment on that as well.
I got
Um,
you.
so
A ton of people haven't reached that level, that higher level of themselves yet, and they're up in their 40s and 50s. Let's just keep it a buck. So,
that's what
me
it boils
personally,
down to.
that's what it
That's
boils down to. Have you done the work? Because the only way I could recognize that this woman was a good woman, actually, when she was on her way out of the door, when she walked through the exit door going out, it's like, wait a minute. That's when I was panic mode at this point. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me cancel all this other stuff. Wait a second.
Did the good woman turn around?
only for a second glance, just slightly,
Really?
just a slight glance,
What did the slight glance look like?
a
What did
friendship,
what does that mean?
a friendship.
Okay. So Tanya says, for instance, I have a friend girl who's been dating a guy her age 60. He stated to her he's always been attracted to younger women 40 to 50, and she believes he still entertains those women, but stated to her he wants to marry her one day.
Hmm.
She's his ideal woman. She
How
has
old
a
is this guy?
career. She has a career. She's very educated. It's just too much to text. I think she should leave him alone. How long have they been dating, Tonya?
Wait a minute. How old is this guy?
Well, friend girl who's dating a guy her age 60.
Run quick. Tell your friend girl, run quick. He's an old fool. I thought I'd turn
Wow.
these things off. Yeah, he's an
Right.
old fool. He sounds like an old fool. Sounds like
Okay.
an old fool. If he playing games at that age, run quick. Remove herself from the equation. That's not a good look.
So is this a man that could be afraid? Okay. So is this a man that is afraid of a good woman or feel challenged by a good woman or
So,
just a hoe?
sound like to me, he just a hoe. He's still playing, and that's from a man
And
speaking.
I think
He's
saying
still
stuff
playing.
like that because, ladies, sometimes we just have to know what we
Yeah,
dealing
you
with.
just have to know what you're
Period.
dealing with,
And
man. Yeah.
they can say right. They can say anything to you, but
Then he telling
actions
her he
speak
telling
for
her one day. He telling her one day. Come on. Her response to him should have been, "Nigga, please."
this is the
Straight up.
day.
He playing games. He playing games. He playing all kind of games. And to be at that age,
Right.
he playing all tons of games.
So I have and I'm gonna get you got the rest of your comments to see it. Go ahead, love. God, Tanya, girl, we're gonna have to get together. So they've been dating 7 months. Dating 7 months. And I guess, and he's 59. She says that's exactly what I told her. Run. And you know what?
Exactly.
We need to run sooner than later. And I'm talking only about this as it relates to men to guys. If we were talking about women running away from good men, I would say the same thing. We need to stop sticking around when you know what you want. Um, we should not be afraid to speak on or about what we want, because if that man is so clear with his actions and or words, then what are you waiting for?
Right.
Because you may be missing out on the man who is going to know he's blessed to run
Right.
across
Right.
such a woman in this day and time.
Right.
So let's see what Mark says here. And then I want to read something and want y'all's opinion. Let's see. Mark says, I believe like is stronger than love. I believe like is stronger than love.
Mm.
It's the initial attraction, vibes, and feels. I believe in growing into love. With that being said, a man may not be ready or willing to treat her above self.
I could agree with that. I
Well,
could agree with that. I could agree with that. And I know exactly where he's going with the like love thing. I could agree with that.
that when I read that, the first thing that came to mind was shiny new object syndrome.
Exactly. Yeah. I could agree
Um,
with that.
and to say like is stronger than love,
Meaning, when he said like is stronger than love, because we always focusing on the love. But for me to love you, Tammy, I have to like you first.
well,
For me to love you, I have to like you first.
see, let me let that simmer, because this is because I I can it's my love for you that keeps me where I am. Like this, I cannot
Yeah,
like you several times
yeah.
through our relationship, but my love conquers all, meaning when I don't like you or your actions or something you said, maybe I need to let that soak in
Yeah, so good.
because I
Thanks for
think
the alley oop. Let me talk about love for a quick second. Thanks for the alley oop.
from a
But
man's
love,
perspective, please.
from a male's perspective, but for men, love tastes good as you spit it out and it crosses your lips. It tastes real good. But most men who say that on the initial contact of a woman, he don't mean that. He does not mean that.
It does not mean what now? I'm confused.
That whole love thing, he don't mean that. I have to like you before I could love you.
I mean, I think that is.
I
I
think we
mean,
put too
that's
much.
not to be said, but
Honestly, I think we put too much weight on the word love. We really do.
I don't think we put enough weight on it because if apparently if you put this is why you just look at um have y'all just think about someone that you guys know that you knew them in the first phase of their relationship, the dating stage, they get married, they have these babies, they have a beautiful family, and
Right.
then a couple of years later all that has fallen apart. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that it's because we don't put enough work in loving people. Like, yeah, sure, if you gotta like me at least, that seems cliche. That's just like the obvious thing that if you love me because you like me because you love me, but it's not the like that keeps me there.
Well,
It's
let
if
me.
I just ask, I I just like you, but you know what? I can like somebody else. But
So
I ain't like
let me
there's
pose
people
this
that
question
I
to you.
like and love enough to deal with their shit. So
Allow me to
liking,
vote.
dude, I can like you.
Allow me to pose this question to you and to your viewers. Right.
Okay. Okay.
The question is, how many people in relationships went in saying one thing and really meant the other? How many people on who got married, who moved into a relationship on a false pretense, thinking that that person, from that person's words, "I love you," moved into a relationship, ushered into a relationship, kids, everything. 30 years later, they're divorced because they never
You know,
even
from
liked her in the
my
first place.
no, no, he liked her. He liked her. He liked what she offered between his legs. The sweat
Okay.
dried, and he married her based on the sweat and realized he didn't love her. He just liked her.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
You can
I
get
got you.
caught up in all of that stuff, and you think, "Oh, I
Exactly.
like this chick." She puts it down in the bed, but baby, we ain't in bed 24/7. We got to connect somewhere else. We got to pay bills together.
Exactly.
We got to grow together. We got to take care of these babies. We got to do life together. And if we're not doing
Exactly.
life together, the sex ain't shit.
Absolutely.
I
They
just got to
engaging
say
with
it
you,
like that,
Tam.
y'all, because I feel like you need to hear it like that. So I get the like, but if you love me, yes, you like me today, but what are you gonna do when you don't like me? Because my actions, I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna say something to piss you off to make you don't like me. I'm human. So does love take over then? Because if I just like you, dude, you're gonna be so quick. I mean, if it's just like you gonna really be gone.
Okay.
It's
I get you.
That's it for me. But it's different for everybody.
I get you.
I had okay. So let me do this before I get some of those comments out. I had a question. Um, so do you think self? I kind of asked this earlier, but um, self sabotage. Okay, is it satisfying for individuals to know that they have avoided painful experiences and they were right in doing so? And do you believe that this becomes a self fulfilling prophecy? And I think that goes back to me asking you, when your second marriage ended, did you project that? And I didn't say it in this way or ask it in this way, but did you project that out into the world, even if it was just for a little while?
Yeah,
Um,
when it initially happened, yes, I did. But That was, you go through your different phases after, separation and divorce. You go through different phases as men. I can only speak for a man. But
Mm-hmm.
I went through different phases of that. Like I bled on a couple of them. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Let's keep it a buck. I bled on a couple of women after divorce. I'll
Okay.
say that again. I bled on a couple of women after the divorce. I really did.
And how much do you think had to do with you were still hurting? And that was your way. Because
It
women,
had it
like
had
we'll get together.
yeah, it had 100%.
Men
Had
don't
100% was because of the pain that was caused inflicted on me. 100% of me bleeding on them was a direct
do y'all see
thing from
how
a
long it
past
took this man
relationship.
to really just say this? Do you see how long
Knock
it
it off.
really took him on
Knock it
air
off.
just to
Because you know
say
this stuff
that?
already. You know this stuff already. Knock it off.
Just to say it. So do y'all see how not all for sure, but they have this natural instinct. Like like we can't even really, ladies, have you been driving with your man and you know they're going the wrong way, but you know if you say something, even just saying this is the wrong way, you should go this way. I have learned to just keep my mouth closed even on that. Like,
Thank
I
you.
know this is not the right way.
Thank you.
But their
Thank
little
you.
egos will be hurt even if they realize they didn't go the right way. You
Comments,
quiet.
please. Thank you.
You quiet. Okay. Tanya, do you agree? Tanya's gonna be my new girl. Okay, so let's see. Tanya says, I believe in growing in love.
Yeah.
So Tanya, what do you have to say about the like and the love thing? Slash, I need you to give me some more on your comments since you brought that up. She says, we do. It seems that men can say they love you so quickly. What's love? Many can't explain only by saying you are a good, decent woman.
Exactly. And 9 times out of 10, if a man's saying that, he's having problems with loving himself at that point. If he cannot express himself, he's having a problem with dealing with himself.
Meaning,
Copy
express
that?
himself in what way? And if he
Meaning
can't
if
express himself in what way?
if he can't express his feelings to her, if he can't say it outwardly like how he truly feel about her, and all he could come up with is, "Oh, but you're a good woman." He's not ready for anything. You shouldn't even be in a conversation with that man. He
Mm.
shouldn't even be at the same dinner table with you. Just being honest.
I have a question here. Tanya says, too many. I've been there, unheard, and misled. I think she's commenting on based on what you said about men will say whatever, right?
Right.
Um, so, Tanya, I have a question. On the other side of that, of being misled, did you or have you back and realized that there were signs and clues there all the time? And if so,
Right.
what made you not see them or just discount them? Or did you? Do you feel like you did? That's a question for you
Who,
if you'd
who's
like to
who's
answer
she
it.
who's she agreeing with? I see she said she's agreeing with something here.
With let me see where. I think that one was an old one.
Okay. Gotcha.
Meaning yeah, that was an old one. Let's see. So let's get Slash up. Slash says, let's keep it 100. Love comes, honor, and obey in marriage, which has been written out because of fear. The key of communication, which 90% nonverbal, understanding and respect are vastly important. For sure. Let me read this again. Let's keep it 100. Love comes, honor and obey in marriage, which has been written out because of fear. The key of communication, which 90% nonverbal. Okay, Slash, I need more on the first part, unless your boy can explain me here. Love comes, honor and obey it in marriage. Okay, Slash, need some more on that one. You get that one, Trent?
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Okay.
I didn't get it. Read it one more time.
Okay. Um, so let's keep it 100. Love comes, honor and obey in marriage, which has been written out because of fear. Honor and obey has been written out because of fear. And the key of communication, which 90% nonverbal, understanding and respect are vastly important. Um,
I
yeah,
think he's
I need
speaking
more
on
of
it.
that.
I think he's speaking on today's climate and the way things are going between the sexes.
Hmm.
I think he's speaking
Okay.
on today's climate
So
and how things.
help help me tie that into men sabotaging relationships with good women.
You want me to do that?
Yeah. Slash or
Okay.
you're a guy.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
that
why
that
are you
comment, that particular comment, I
go
think
ahead?
he's talking about today's climate with the mindset of women today. That particular comment.
What's the mindset of women? The good one, the mindset of the good woman, or the what did Tanya say? The bottom woman.
There
The
you go.
mindset of the good woman or the bottom woman. No, I'm asking
The
me and
the
you.
bottom woman. The bottom woman.
Okay.
Because you have to first of all, let's just keep it a buck. For a man to recognize a good woman, he has to be a good man.
Mm.
For me, I didn't recognize until she was on the other side of the exit door. This
I
is
don't agree
when
with that.
you don't
For a
agree with that.
man
What
to
do you mean?
recognize a good woman, for a man to recognize a good woman, he has to be a good man.
Something in him has to be right. Something in it.
So do you? So this woman, you didn't recognize she was a good woman as you were playing with her.
Nah, she was a good woman. She's a great woman. But I
Did you
wasn't all
recognize?
bad.
Okay, so you asked, so you brought on the right question. When you sabotaged the relationship with the good woman, were you a bad man?
I wasn't bad. I wasn't malicious bad. But as far as womanizing, I was a womanizer. Tammy, you already know these
So
us. Why you put me out here
is a
like this?
womanizer a bad man? Okay, but I want
No,
you to
I'm
say
not
when
gonna
you
say
said
I'm not gonna say the womanizer is not a he's not a bad man. That's one who hasn't found his way yet. I'm not gonna just put him out there like that, throw him under the bus. No, there was still hope for me. Look, I mean, look at me now, years later.
because
But
I
there's
feel
still
the
hope for guys. There's still hope for guys who juggle women. They just haven't reached
same.
that pinnacle point in their life yet.
Okay.
You see what I'm
So I'm
saying?
gonna read five things here. I do. I get it. But see, with the good and bad, you guys, I really am to a point where you know that thing. What is a good man, but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man, but a good man's job? Like, what is a bad man, but a good man's teacher? What is a good
My
man,
question to you
what is
is,
a bad man, but a good man's job?
what's a bad man to you?
That's what I'm saying. A bad man is so this thing about when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I see bad and good as the same coin. The
Right.
same coin, meaning what is a good man, but a bad man's teacher. So the bad man, when because then the way I reason that because y'all, we can do the work, we can look in the mirror, we can get the chisel, but there are some days we're gonna wake up and we're not going to. We're let me just say this: we're not going to be good every day. We're not going to be at our
True.
best version of ourselves every
True.
day. So on that day, my wish for me is that my teacher will appear. That
Good
my
stuff,
teacher
Tam.
on that day will appear.
That's good stuff.
Period. And when and then vice versa, when someone else wakes up like that, and I'm their teacher, because I do believe that we God sends us everybody and everything that we need, even when we're in the dumps, that the teacher shows up. It's just that
Right.
sometimes we don't get up and listen to the lesson.
I
We don't
agree.
study. And so I found a couple of, but this one was the most interesting to me, and I guess it's
Right.
because I really have been studying the mother thing as it relates to men. But so this is a couple of things, and they call it late men, which I got to figure out what they mean by that. But it
I can
says
imagine.
late men self sabotage and hurt others in the process, and they've identified five major reasons: the father wound, the mother wound, and let's see, where's my third one? I don't know. Social and cultural factors, and emotional and behavior problems is number five. I don't know what I did with number
Mm.
three, but
And where did this
the
come
social
from?
and
Where did
cultural,
this come from?
this is from Relationship Center of South Florida.
Uh,
And it talks about, I really, really, really think that we need to dig deeper on another show.
uh,
They call it mother wound, I call it mother hunger. And there is such a thing, especially with our men. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on fathers, and the fatherless world has created a mess for sure. But there's also a level of mother hunger that, especially with men who were boys and had a natural desire to be able to fill the shoes of the absent father,
uh,
but
but at
couldn't.
some point,
And I'm
go ahead.
some point. No, you said at some point.
Uh, when you talk about that whole absent father thing, my father wasn't absent like that, but I still became who I became. So at some point, we have to stop pushing the blame and take personal
Okay, hold
responsibility
on,
for.
hold on. Your father may not have been absent in that way, but going by the stories that I've heard you say about Big Will, there was a
Right.
void left on you from a different
Yeah,
kind of absence.
but I was a grown
So
man when I was doing this stuff.
the difference is you've did the work. And my point
Yeah,
here is the
I
more we
got you.
bring
Okay.
these topics up and these discussions up, there will be men that something we say will strike, because it's not if you went through it or how you went through it, it's how you're going to view it now and grow through it. How are you going to
I
allow it to
agree.
settle so that it does not affect you? See, because if you had not done the work, you would still be that same man.
I agree.
So
I
doing the
agree.
work is allowing pain or the reality of it. But we deny so much of what we feel, especially our men. And I think that's because the social and culture factors of it. This says late men are often confused about their role in the world today. It's not surprising. The messages we see and hear today are confusing. Men strong, decisive, and powerful, but men should be sensitive, in touch with their feelings. Men should be competitive, successful, even aggressive, and unafraid. Even today in the 21st century, there's a clear expectation: big boys don't cry. And I won't keep going in that,
And
but there is
yeah,
a,
but let's not say all men. Say some men. We generalizing this,
well, of
right?
course, we're generalizing it with the topic.
Okay.
I'm not saying all men, for sure, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
there's a lot of men who men don't, women like Tanya right there. Tanya has told me to call her. That's what we do.
Mhm.
We get together, we share, we talk more than you guys. So we
There's
have
a
a little
there's a
edge.
small percentage. There's a small percentage of men who do the same thing. Slash and I talk all the time.
Small. You said it yourself, small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small. But
Yeah.
there needs to be more. Though a guy needs to, every just like every girl needs a guy who he can share the shit with. He could cry like a nosed
Exactly.
baby, and that guy still sees him as his heart
But here's the
home.
thing. I'm speaking to your men viewers here. As a man, every man has to bump his head first before he get over the hump.
Every man or some men?
Every man has to bump his head. Every single man have to bump
You know
their
I ain't
head
messing with you.
to get over. I know. Every man has to bump their head to get over the hump of themselves. And once you bump your head, you're gonna reach the high level of yourself. That's real talk. That's real talk. But you got to bump it real hard,
Once you
bump it real
bump your
good. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What you say?
You know what? I don't believe every man has to bump their head.
He has
I
to bump
don't.
his head.
What
Do
do you
you
what
believe
define
that?
bump his head?
Meaning that whole wake up moment, that whole aha moment, to get
I don't
life
think every
right,
man has.
to get. I totally disagree. To get life right, you don't come in this world getting life right. Everything a part of life takes us to the next journey. Everything that happens to us on this road called life take us to the next journey. But it's how we
So
conquer
would you
those.
say that that's the same for everybody then? Just not like, do you think everybody has to bump their head or
I'm
just
gonna say
men?
yes. I'm gonna say men and women.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
men and women.
In that light,
But I mean,
I
there's
feel
life is not gonna be a 70 with the breeze for us at all. Neither sex at all. But it's what you do with those bumps and those thorns on that path. What you do with those things. Once you acquire those thorns, once you get those bumps, what you do with those things. Yeah, you can carry with them for a while, but you have to learn from them and continue to move. You can carry. It's okay to carry them. It's okay to remind yourself of those thorns and those bumps, those cuts and those scrapes. You have to, because that's the farmer. The farmer's gonna always teach the present.
so do men fear that the woman that they love or settle with, do you think most men fear that woman not being what he thinks she that or do they fear that woman hurting them?
Again, it depends on the individual. It depends on where that man's at in life, how he's gonna
I
receive
mean,
that woman.
generalizing based on the topic, that man who sabotages the relationship with a good woman, do you think it has anything to do with him saying, okay, I might choose this woman and she might hurt me? Fear of being hurt, rejected.
It depends. Like again, it depends on the individual, where he's been in life, where he's come from. So he may have some insecurities. He may have some issues, some deep scars, some mother issues that he hasn't dealt with. He may have those issues. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah that there are some men out there that do that for the
What
past pain.
what percentage of men avoid or try to deny the mother hunger or the issues they had with their mom?
It's a high percentage.
It's getting deep, ain't it?
Yes, but for me, I never had the mother problem.
Not you. I'm saying, but what percentage do you think is high?
It's probably high
And why do you feel, why, as a man, why do you think it would be difficult for a man to um,
to express that
be expressive
because
in that?
it would be very hard for the average guy to express himself and to talk about his issues. That means that if he's talking about them, he's becoming vulnerable. And most men don't want to be opened. The average man do not want to be opened. And I'm talking with an ED. So the average man do not want to be opened. When you find a man who wants to be open, you better grab the man. You better grab
Being
him.
cracked open and soulfully
Correct.
to do the work.
To do the work. So the average man do not want to be open, cracked open, as you say. They don't want to because they're exposing a whole bunch of stuff. But if you find that man, if you happen to find that man who's loving the openness, you better grab him. That's a good man. Even with a small.
So, so a good one of the characteristics of a good man, based on your opinion, based on that what you just said, is one who is open to being opened up.
Absolutely. Because
Okay.
that means he's open to change. That means he's open to a plethora of things. He's open to a whole bunch of stuff. He's open to love. he's open to everything.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. All
absolutely.
right. So what time is it? Oh man.
This is good. Just turn the thing into a part two.
Let's
Turn it
do
into a
this
part two.
again because there's so much more, y'all. And I want to really bring some, I want to even bring the mother hunger thing in there and the fatherless because men, if I'm going to put this out there because someone may know, I have been looking for TD Jakes used to do this thing in the
I
wee
used to go to those
hours
conventions. I
in
used
the
to go to
wee
those
hours of the
conventions.
morning. What was the name of that with the men?
It was a whole conference. I used to go to those conferences all
But
the
I'm saying
time.
they used to air, and it was just like they would talk in ways, ladies,
Yeah.
that I used to literally get up in the wee hours of the morning to look at this because there's nothing. I think it's this one thing will change the trajectory of our family. Y'all, we
Yeah.
need culture. Like people, it's not, I feel like
We
it's not we're not so different. We just have, we need a culture. It's something my son said to me about his Jewish friend. He said, Mom, he left school and he went to the Jewish center. There, they were if you were a Jew, you were family. It didn't matter if you were in my family, you were
right.
family. Same kind of with the Mexicans. You guys know that a young lady who turns, I want to say it's 16, they have this big thing for the young ladies. People go that don't know the young lady and they pour money into her. They
Right.
come in thousands and she may leave with, I mean, y'all, 20. I've
And
heard 20.
we talked about how black
We
people
need culture.
need culture. We talked about that in a conversation maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's gonna be kind of tough because that's gonna require you facing yourself and dealing with yourself again, talking about culture and talking about some tough conversations
Right, but
to
that's
get
why
to
I'm
that
saying
point.
this because I wish TD Jakes would have not, and maybe he is still doing it. Maybe it's just not
No, he's
airing.
not. He dropped the
But
ball on that one. He dropped the ball on that one.
man,
Matter of fact, to be honest
he,
with you, I went to that first conference, that men's conference, before Taylor was born.
it's been a very long time. I don't.
It's been an
I mean,
extreme long time. Taylor's almost pushing 30.
right, but to hear, but more importantly, to see. It's as if
Yeah, it's
when
very
those
powerful.
men were
Very
talking,
powerful.
when they were talking, you see them open up. Like you feel the shackles. You could feel this through the TV shackles, the weight, the heaviness. And so I feel like shows like this can help. It's not a beat me down show for men.
Not at
It
all.
is something that says you are free. We want you to be free of whatever is keeping you back from your kingship, from you
But hey,
being
hold on a
the
second.
head of the house.
Yeah, but see, like you, ladies like yourself and like-minded ladies, got to get those ladies in line to be singing the same choir.
Well,
Let's keep it a buck.
I'm working on something. I'm working on something for June,
Okay.
and it's gonna happen this time with or without whatever. And I don't know if that is I don't know, but I know that that's something that I felt led to do some years ago and reached out to the person that I thought I heard God say, I need you guys to do this together. At that time, the person was kind of in her feelings about her own situation with
Mm,
her own relationship, which we do. And I kind of put it off saying, okay, she will come and she still may, but I've now heard God say, okay, if she doesn't come, you have to go.
it is what it
You
is.
do. So we're gonna bring this back round two. I want you guys to get your questions together, share it with your friends. Let's create let's start something. We have the what they call ice challenge, the shake your ass
Yeah,
challenge. We got all
exactly.
this foolishness. Let's do challenges that help us grow and connect and unite and create a
Exactly.
culture of people with a change mindset, like minded people who are not afraid to share the growth. Because
Exactly.
if I grow by myself, I'm going to get to the top and be alone.
Exactly.
That's no fun.
Well, I want to
So,
leave your viewers. I want to leave your viewers, your female viewers, with this.
okay.
Right. as far as men. What men need to do is this is what they want from you guys. And I'm speaking from a man's perspective. A man want to know that you want him. The need's gonna come later. The need is gonna come later, but the want has to come in as far as wanting him, not wanting tangible things. If you genuinely want him, the man wants to be respected. He wants to feel appreciated. You can get the world out this man if you honestly and genuinely want him, want his soul, thirst for his soul.
Not all the time. There are people, ladies. So not every man. Let me go back with your words. Not every man is going. They can have
I
that
agree.
woman, and not every man. There will be a man or two or three or four or five that will sabotage that relationship. Before,
Exactly.
in some cases, I think they sabotage it, and they maybe will not admit it out of
I
fear
agree.
of
But
getting
we have
into
to understand.
not
We have to
being.
understand. We have to understand that we live in an imperfect world, doing imperfect things because we're imperfect people. Simple.
Oh, now you're gonna run back to that.
Give
For
people a
real.
little grace.
For real. You're gonna run back to that. No, what I'm saying now, for real,
I get you. I get you. Go ahead.
you can have you yourself had it. You just told us.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be one or the other. A man will either open himself up and stay to that, or he will do what you did. You said it. You said you had it all. You had the good woman. She was spiritual. She didn't want you.
Yeah.
What she didn't want you. So did you do what you just said a man will do?
Later on, once I lost her, yeah, I had to do the work on myself. Once I lost
Right.
her, yeah,
Okay. So
of
you didn't
course.
add that in that part just now. You said if a woman does this, that man will do this. Nah,
The
not
man who has
always.
done. Let me clear that up. The man who has done the work
Okay. Okay.
on himself. The man who has done the work on himself.
Okay.
The man, but again, want that man. Genuinely want that man.
Share the story before we get off. It's 8:43 with about Dr. Phil and Robin. So I
Yeah.
don't remember the title of the show, but it has something to do with fathers, right?
Nah, it didn't have anything to do with fathers. It was talking about how the woman don't need you. You don't need that man. You
No,
don't need.
that came into it, but it was talking about fathers because remember one of the ladies on there was talking about
It
her
must have
husband
been.
was a good father, a good man. So it was talking about
But they
these
didn't
young
close it.
kids.
Yeah, they didn't close it with that. They closed it with that want and that need.
Right. I mean, the overall title was about these young kids who were um they were getting caught up into this one guy who wasn't what he was promoting himself to be. So they were saying that these young men needed fathers, active fathers in the
Yeah,
homes and in the White House. So that's what the whole show was about. But it
gotcha.
filtered into men, the woman and the man. And that's when Dr. Phil said Robin doesn't need a damn thing from him.
Exactly. So Dr.
He
Phil,
never
that's
felt.
the part. That's the part that I came in on when he said that his wife Robin don't need a damn thing from him. He knows that if he's gone from this place, she's gonna be fine, perfectly fine without him because she don't need him. So she interrupted him. She said, "No, I don't need you. I want you." And the way she said it, the smile on this woman's face, I knew Dr. Phil got something when he got home, or even in the car on the ride home. Because the way she said it, she was like, "Wow." That kind of took me back. I was like, "Damn, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of
But
sense."
and it does, but can you agree, and we're close on this, can you agree that so a man, it could be another man could hear that and be so broken and so
Yeah, I agree.
insecure and not get what she said.
But you have to be at a certain again, and I'm always talking about this. You have to be at a certain level in life to get what an open person is talking about, what an opened ED person is talking about, where that opened ED person is coming from, male or female. You have to be open to receive it.
Hmm.
If you're not open, if you're closed in, I can't receive anything. If I'm closed in, I can't receive that. If my
Is it?
wall's up, I can't receive any of that.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm gonna look for something really quick here. Are you guys familiar with Eric Thomas?
I'm familiar.
Is he the guy that, and I may have them mixed up. Is he the guy who met he met his now wife? They were on totally two different levels.
No, I don't think that's him.
So is he the past football player that was hurt?
No,
Which
that's
one
not
is it?
him. That's not
I'm gonna
him.
have to find next part two of this. I'm gonna find that story because I remember whoever it is. I remember him sharing the story about how his now wife required so much from him,
Right.
not financially or anything like that, but she required him to grow. She
Right.
required him to change and transform his life. And I believe he had did some time um, in prison or whatever. And she was like, "I don't care what you did. I care what about what you're going to do."
Sounds like a woman that wanted him.
So we're going to dig deeper into this part two next week, you guys.
Good
Same.
stuff.
What's next week's date? It's not the first, is it?
I'm not sure. No, I think it is. I think that is the first. Yeah, the
No.
count. Are you sure?
So the 29th Monday, right? It's the 30th,
It's the 30th,
right?
right?
Okay.
Let me
So
pull the calendar
next
real quick. Let me
Tuesday is
pull the
the
calendar real
30th.
quick.
Um,
Tuesday be that Monday the first. No, no, no. I'm sorry.
right.
It'll be the 29th. No, the 30th. It's the 30th.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we
it's the
will be
30th.
we will be on. We got a few
Absolutely.
more comments. No problem, Cynthia. We're just glad that you joined us. So
Good
Tanya
stuff.
Tanya says the 30th. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cynthia says a man will get from a woman what he gives. Women love and show love more deeply.
Some women.
Um
Some.
and I don't believe that all for sure. I believe there are some men who give a lot and and,
Exactly.
and they don't always get it back.
Exactly.
Even a slight measurement of what they give. There's some good men that get ran over for
Absolutely.
sure. They just get
And that's
run
like
over.
Tone. Like Tone. How do you pronounce your name? Tonya.
Tonya?
Yeah. They get ran over from the bottom. Women.
Yeah. Hey Torian, you're late too.
But she could always. Hey, this is good for a shameless plug. She could always catch us. Actually, probably about an hour after the live stream, Live with Tammy will be on B2G Unity TV networks on demand. So about
Yeah.
an hour from now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then it'll be on here as well. But yeah, y'all head out and come back next week. Bring a
Now
friend, you
we
guys,
want them. We want them to
because
go to the
go. Yeah.
platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come back next week. Have some. This is, and we're really gonna close. This is something. If you listen to this show, if you listen to this or any podcast, don't just listen. Take at least one thing away and apply it that following week or the days after. So I'm going to ask you
Absolutely.
guys to do this because I talked about the trash can, but I didn't tell you, and we have some new listeners. Move your trash can, preferably one that you use often. For me, it was my kitchen. Move your trash can, and then monitor how often you go back to where you moved it from. How often do you go back to put the trash in the garbage can where it used to be, opposed to going to where you moved it? Um, Tonya, I want you to do that tonight because I want to hear from you next week. Cause Cynthia, if you've not did it, shame on you. I want you to do it tonight as well. Torian, you do it as well. Slash, you've been here 100 times. I know you better have did it. So move it and let us hear from you next week. We'll tell you why next
Good
week. And
stuff.
keep count of how many times you go back. And if you don't, that's cool. But keep an honest count of how many times you go back to where you moved it from. I want to know how many times you go back before you get it, that you've moved it and you start going to the new place. I want you guys, if you have a brother, a father, uncle, friend, guy, invite them to next week's show podcast. Invite them out with an opinion. I want to know. We want to know because we're going to do part 2 to this, and we're going to bring some, as Trent would say, we're going to bring the meat and potatoes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
No
Good stuff.
dessert, just meat and potatoes. We're not
Meat
going to
and
even let you
potatoes.
drink, just the meat and potatoes.
Good stuff.
So, um, okay. So yeah, okay. Move my trash can in the kitchen. Move it to another location. Correct. So move it from wherever you have it. It could be in the same, for sure, in the same room. So just move it like to a side, to the next wall or something. But move it from where it is to another location in that room, and then monitor how many times you go back to that old location, to where you moved it from.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
All right. So for those of you who said you're going to tune in next week, I'm going to share once we post the show out there. I'm going to share it with you so that you can select going and you'll get that reminder. But also remember to invite a friend, especially a male friend, but we want women and men. All right.
Good
So
stuff.
good stuff, you guys. Thank you for joining us. It's been great. We look forward to next week. Be great.
Oh, yeah.
Any last comments for you?
I'll be on tomorrow with Coach D, conversation with Trent and friends, right here on the B2G Unity TV network. That's Butterfly Evolution and Till Kennedy Media combined for better TV together.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tonya, Cynthia, Torian, and I'm sure Slash for sure. Slash, we need more from you on some of those comments though, so don't forget. Um, and for those of you who did not make any comments, thank you as well for tuning in. We look forward to next week. Be great, great people.